Fears, the quanta of fear. In this path of relationship to other worlds, other cultures, the difference between these cultures, whether they are terrestrial, intraterrestrials, interoceanics, or between countries here in this world, the differences are cultural, of distance, that is of concepts, they are civilizations in this case. Of my case, what I show are my experiences of already 30 years in this, with beings from other worlds and a great extension. In reality, this is very simple. It is not so complicated. What would be complicated would be the binary human mind, which puts many impediments as well as concepts to these relationships, as well as fears and arrogance above all, of believing oneself to be the most advanced or the most intelligent in the universe. I have repeated it many times, but once again I say it. Contactees are one thing, unrelated persons are another. I am a related person. I was contacted for many years. A contactee is someone who has contact with ships and beings, other cultures of other worlds especially, and related in my case will be one that no longer needs to believe or see or anything like that. Is already related. That is, it is already linked. It is related to these intelligences. In my case is of years of relationship with them. My entire family, they are everyday characters and beings of every day. A related is the one who is already inside the ships, let's say, and understands the brothers, knows their purposes and all of them. Is one more of them, and this does not need to be checked. Just it is. But for some it is something fantastic, something very crazy, or an elaborated lie. For me, let's say, well, you can think what you want. There is a reality that to be the same. It is like saying, you have to take the travel to go it. You have to take the travel to go to it, to go to it. I went to it for years. They say that the one who seeks finds it. I found them. They were waiting for me. This road, I would say, is for, as I always say, for people in this, or who want to be in this, as well as for those who want to better escape the matter. This is for the rich, for millionaires, or for irresponsible beggars, or for irresponsible beggars like me. Because you have to be rich millionaires, so you don't have to think about what you are going to eat tomorrow, or that you have to go to work, earn your bread, this or that in your work, earn money for to live, and all that. Those things have to be solved. It has to be done. Otherwise there will not be enough time to dedicate to this. And time is not enough for everything that has to be done with ship's brothers. Irresponsible like me, irresponsible people like me, that will be a way of saying it, since I'm not rich, but I don't care. And I'm dedicated to this more than 24 hours a day, more than 24 hours and more than what man knows as time. And you don't need to look for profit purposes, as I say jokingly, and they love, I live by the air. And I say jokingly, and they love, I live by the air. I'm not in charge of the economic things of the world. I have people who are in that. I am in what I am. I am in what I am in. The relationship, I'm learning from what they teach me and what I teach to small groups of people, brothers of earth. We tell you that really want to evolve, truly say. Not that they just want to be as they are. If they are satisfied as they are, that is very good. They should continue there and not get involved into this. Those who take my words badly, it is their own evil. I am pure in what I do.
I'm impure in the essence of it. And much more, for example, a carpenter sees life as a carpenter, a lawyer as such, a doctor as such, an architect as such, a housewife as such. A soldier sees and lives as soldier, that is each one in his own way. I am related. I see as relating. That is my level of conscience. Mine. I'm not saying that this is superior to anything. If you want, I'll throw myself on the floor and say that I am the worst of the worst, so that someone doesn't come out saying that. What do this guy think he believes he is? A baba and a babas? In a way, I'm just relate. That's my thing. That's what I do. It will be like my profession. It will be like my profession. Only I don't earn anything because you don't seek to earn anything in this. One is already supposed to be paid for life and for everything. The fools in this case, the brothers of the ship taught us that they are energies in reality, that they are known as prone, as energy now in the ship as prone energy. Therefore, just but knowing you already what is an energy, of course everything will change. Just everything is. But initially, because then those spirits, after becoming prone, continue their evolutionary journey to other higher levels of powers. For man, they are not powers because they don't know anything about this. In my case, I already disrespected man at the human race itself. Mind you, I speak for myself. I already judged it. I already judged it. I already ate it. I executed it, and I also digested it, excreted it, and spread it. Besides, I diverted him from my power. Diverted him from my path. I owe nothing except it owes me as a race. It happens that I already know him, and I believe with the gender of man and other races. I can make comparison. This is neither good nor bad. It is only. And I have not violated any universal or cosmic law to be judged. It had been a while since I came from many hells and sentences to say it, even having paid for innocence that did not matter. I learned to contradict myself as many times as necessary or not, since I am involved in my work with this civilization all the time. Of course, I don't have time to do the things of the world. I don't touch the thing of the race. If it gives me something, it gives them to me. I don't take what is not mine, and the system gives me without my asking, and if it doesn't, he knows what he's doing. I do not seek to look like a good or bad person. Those things no longer exist in my being. I am in other interests. They are not of this world anymore. I have not come to have anything, nor take anything from this world. Nor does this world have why give me. Nor does this world have why give me anything. My sustenance is from another world or worse. Worlds that do not exist to the human sense, but to the superior senses. The best of this human race, I have seen it and I know it, but the race still cannot touch or imitate it, much less be. It is not the time. Yet the time has passed. However, after cycles and cycles, those cycles count for that ones. They can take it and evolve, but that concept of evolving, it's not of this world, it is to go to other worlds. Man is not the owner of this world, nor will be. His destiny is another. The best of this human race, I have seen it and I know it, but this race still cannot touch or imitate it. His destiny is another, I know it, but they do not have to believe me. You have to go. I have not come to guide anyone in that unless it is indicated from above for that. Then I will know it, and that or that one too. There will be no doubt about that. For you to understand a quantum theory, it will be just this or this that I am telling you. A theory is speaking in me, but it is a quantum theory, as you will see. It is not a phrase. That is the problem. That is the problem energy which speaks in me. So that you have an idea of it, you will realize that it's not that fears do not exist, but that they evolve until they become prone. And this does not have to be true or false. At this point in the things, the truth or the lie, or the real and the unreal, ceases to interest me. when one is inside the ship. When one is inside the ship, it is converted into substance like a powder or a liquid or a gelatinous mass. So they are what we were, are, or will be. It is seen from another angle. After so many years in this, I have seen that people have known fears. Let's say what they feel most will be unknown fears that they don't even know. They don't know what they should feel. That's why in this path of relating to other beings, it will be that fear of the unknown. I would say that in this, what will be least interesting will be the common fears of everyday of people, however those stop many without knowing. But it is better on the one hand, so as not to get involved in these things, which I am. Otherwise, you are really going to be in this as it should be. One quantum field will be an accumulation of so many fields beyond the sum total of all fields. To take from that, let's say fields already transformed into powers, such as strong ones from fields or from power, which will be the same, let's say more useful than common human fields. I will always say it, to understand the concepts that I explain, they are not from the earthly source, nor from earthly archives. To understand them, you have to enter into the contradiction of not understanding them, not as they are taught to understand in schools and universities or earthly cultural centers of the incarnated man. The brothers of the ships taught us to learn in another way. It must be understood that we deal with other beings. We deal with beings that handle matter. Therefore, as soon as something is learned, they can change all that and start over from scratch. So it's another learning methodology. This will only be very abbreviated synthesis, the ones that I can give in videos or conferences, because the Earth's binary time is not enough, because for that you already have to be dedicated, like me, all the time to this. So this I return to repeat it. This is not for those who are thinking what they are going to do tomorrow, or that they have to go to work, or end their bread with the sweat of their brow, or that they have to pay debts, or that they have to do many things of the daily living. This is for those who have plenty of time to put it into this, and who are projected beyond. Otherwise, it is better not to waste your time on this. Maybe they have more useful things to do than this, the evolution of one being. Maybe they have more useful things to do than this, the evolution of one's own being. At the moment, this is what I would tell them, and to you also.
Relationship with the ships, you need to be beyond reality, the reality that you know.
Photo taken by Hugo and EATALLANOS, where you can see a natural being known in the traditions as fairies, who are usually very often in the levels of relationships towards other worlds they. Let's see with their codes and Hugo corresponding with his infirmary to the ships.
And to enter to another sort of reality.
Another photo taken by Hugo of a DAMBROXINE ship, which is found in the middle of the foliage as if camouflaged in it, which has its part in the connection.
It's incredible, but they are waiting to me, waiting for us who are trying to connect.
Same DAMBROXINE ship, which is common to find in places like these. Its proportion seems small, but in reality, it can change its size outside of itself, the Berkeley knowledge, other technology. But it makes its level of connection together with Hugo.
Among the birds, with ships, and all the energies.
Another photo taken by Hugo in Hui, Argentina, where this time you can see two motherships already gigantic. Their size exceeds human measurement, but they adapt to earthly coding. They are also guide ships, and they are motherships because they go in and out of big, small ships, hundreds and thousands of them.
What is happening here, so that you have an idea, is that we were before previously connected with the brothers of the ships to come to this place, where we were going to meet with these birds. That is how it was specified outside from their instructions. Not that they, for a common binary mind, are just birds, but already in the astral, etheric and other dimensional levels, they are no longer just birds, but what they show themselves there, I am going to always clarify it, is the following. Here you in the binary way only see a guy walking around the place, and only a few birds, and all of this entering the dimensions is when one is already trained as we are to see beyond that. Now that some cannot see that, it doesn't mean that it doesn't exist, but rather that they cannot see it, and it is understood that they are not trained in it, but we have been trained for years. Those who know how to enter the planes, they understand perfectly and see things, some exactly what we do, and others other things. Now so that everything coincides in a single joint vision, that already depends on a general center that manages it that way. But being already in the dimensions, everything is learned.
I want to put it clear that it's the first time for me coming here in trying to know what is happening. And for example, you must be totally aware all the time about the minimum details for you to be in contact with another source of consciousness. Each detail is important. For example, this detail. It's not so simple to understand the quantum mind or the quantum concept of the relationships with nature and with the ships and with the elders. Maybe you can see us, my son and me, or me myself, saying all the time to you that things that you are not able to see. And maybe you are telling, or maybe you are judging us that we are crazy, that we are insane, telling things that you are not seeing. But I can tell you that it's important, very important to see in the plane, in the astral plane. For some people I could say that in their imagination, but if there exists a difference between imagination and astral plane. The difference is in the substance, especially in the matter, in the substance of, for example, one astral body, or one physical body, one ethereal body, or one imaginative body. Difference is in the substance. Of course, I'm telling you, for example, that stick, that pole, you are seeing a simple pole, a simple stick, nothing more than that. But if you are able to see what is around this, or are you seeing another kind of images, you are entering to the astral. Then in this way it's important to see beyond. For that our videos are especially to that people that are able to see beyond, that are trained to see in another vibration of the dimensions. But that's first more important to understand the quanta, which in this video I'm trying to explain you. That's very important to see beyond the substance, the material substance, and having the ability, the skill to be trained, or some people are naturally gifted to see in another dimension of the reality. See another dimension of reality. For example, you see me here. Now you see me here. Now you don't see me here. See me here, you see me here. What's the reality? What's the reality in the split and the projection of the substance of the images you are seeing? You must be able to see in this square, and this square, what is happening. Other kind of reality. That's what I'm trying to explain. Here in this place, we have come in order to get in touch with civilizations similar to birds. As you could see, those kind of crows or falcons that were standing in this open field, they are used as contact means or tools by civilizations which have the appearance of birds. That's what we were told. Civilizations are waiting for us in this place. It's something similar to a ghost town or something like that. First time I was here, heard any noise. It is everything so quiet. Almost anybody walking about here. It's as if all the people were gone. And this sensation of loneliness and solitude will be important for us to share some knowledge with these civilizations, these extraterrestrial beings that I'm telling you. They suggested us to get to a very silent place, and from the silence itself, the ship is going to get shaped and is going to pop into this reality. That's the code.
And tell me about your contact. For example, I understand that each detail is important, and count each detail of the place which you are now visiting. Can you explain some details, for example, of what you see here in another dimension, in this dimension? How is it?
What I can feel is that all this room, all this big and wide space is something similar to Chernobyl. It's another part or another division of Chernobyl itself, transported to this piece of land. Here one can find ghost-like beings.
You're telling that was an explosion here, radiation even, and you are not able to see, or the people, common people are not able to see radiation, for example, in this place. It all seems to be simple and as usual.
Yes, there is, or there was, an explosion in the past.
I want to clarify that regarding everything that is the nuclear aspect already from the brothers of the ships, that knowledge is not at all the one discovered by the binary man. That is, the binary man. That knowledge barely began. Therefore, listening and learning from other civilizations about this can be done, but only if you are capable of not only opening your mind, but also having emptied it beforehand of everything learned on Earth to just begin to learn, really from scratch. The relationship, in this case, of these explosions that occurred in the place where Franco explains what happened can only be seen in the planes, such as the astral, etheric, and quantum, where one enters by increasing the vibration of consciousness itself, substance matter. In time.
Oh, really?
An explosion in the past, and several people died. The souls of those people are wandering about here, and they are the nexus, and they are kind of bridges towards the bird civilizations. So, not for anything, they spoke to my mind and guided me to this place. And after that, I guided you.
Necessary to see in another dimension, in another vibration of the substance of the matter, or could be simple for any people that are not used to this kind of vision.
Anyone that has the opportunity to come here could feel that sensation in the air. Anybody could sense the ghosts in any time of the day, and the quietness and the silence and the marvelous landscapes that you see around, the mountains and the magnificence itself is sharing us a unique sensation, and that was performed, that was sent to us by the bird civilizations.